This evening's interview will be with Mr. Jeff Bradshaw. Posy Maserati. Hey, Boop. How you doing, love? I have to get you on here. Like, you need to be a part of this. We will talk, but I'm not doing any more until after the holiday. So let's do the top of the year, first quarter. Let me know. Hit me in my DM. DM me. Let me know that it's something you want to do or not. One of my favorite people in the world. Thank you to all that popped in. I'm just waiting for Mr. Bradshaw to pop in. I appreciate y'all checking me out. I hope everybody's good. Everybody's safe. Your family's safe. And happy holidays, by the way. I keep forgetting, with all the mess that we have going on, that it is actually holiday time. Thank you. Anyone doing their shopping? Get your shopping done. It should be real easy this year since stuff is closed. Everything's online. And it's so easy. I just order stuff and have it just shipped to where it's going. I don't have to worry about wrapping. You can even pay for wrapping now with certain things. So it arrives wrapped. So easy. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, that's good. Those that are just coming in and just waiting for Mr. Bradshaw. Yes, exactly. It's like me and Amazon, we're like this at this point. It's my best friend. And also my worst enemy because I can't stay off of there. I need to because I'm doing some serious damage. I need an Amazon intervention, honestly. Exactly. Yeah, the mall would be like insane, just insanity. And you know, people get crazy around the holiday season anyway. Mr. Bradshaw just popped in. Brother, how are you?
I'm blessed, man. How are you?
Same, very much so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to see you, man.
Likewise, I think the last time that I saw you was AC. I happened to run into you in one of the casinos. You had just got done performing with Patty, and I was down there to check out Tony. And I ran into you one of the casinos.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You were
yeah.
even still sweating. You were still sweaty. Got off stage, and what you don't know, what you don't know is right after I saw you, there was a couple like eyeballing you, and they came up to me after I left you and said, "Who is that? He's someone. We just seen him get off of stage with Patty." And I was like, "Oh, you don't know who that is? That's Mr. Jeff Bradshaw. Let me tell you about him. And after I'm done, you might want to Google him to find out more." So
Oh, boy.
you had people out there with eyes on you, brother.
It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing.
Absolutely. So, how have you been holding up in all this drama, conflama, whatever else you want to call it?
Man, it's been crazy. I've been, um, I think we got sent home with Patty the end of March. So I've been home since the end of March.
Okay.
But a lot of things have happened since then. I was doing Facebook Lives and Instagram, IG Lives, and concerts from my living room, and trying to figure it out, man. And what I have learned, and the blessing in it, was that I got a chance to get closer to my audience, closer to my fans, my family, and gain so many new fans and so many new fans and friends, since I've been able to share. Because a lot of people knew who I was, but a lot of people didn't know who I was. So I got a chance to share music from my first album, Bone Deep. I got a chance to share music from my second album, Bon Appetit. I got a chance to share music from my live album, Jeff Bradshaw and Friends Home, and I got a chance to preview and do listening parties for my new album, Stronger. So I got a chance to really, it was really cool, man. I got a chance to really gain some new fans and really engage my audience a lot more, because a lot of them are home, obviously. A lot of them are home, and because they're home, lost jobs. A lot of people are working from home.
Yes.
So this was the best time to, under these circumstances, this was the best time to release a new album, and the most important album of my career.
Good. Good. I don't want to jump to Stronger yet. I do want to go back. Well, before we go back, I want to talk about, because we're still staying on the theme of home. You have offspring and they're homeschooling, right?
Yes.
How's that going for you? Because I know a lot of people are indifferent
Man,
about it.
I mean, it's been well, my son Madison, because I have three girls. My older daughter Bianca, and I have Kayla and Maya, and I have my 12-year-old big boy, my 12-year-old son Madison. Say hello to Mr. Chike.
What's up, man?
So that's my son Madison. He goes to Elkins Park. He's a preteen. He's 12. He's like 5'8". We're wearing the same shoe size now, but
Whoa.
he just started at Elkins Park Middle School. So this is his first year in middle school, and so he's here with me.
Okay.
He's here with me.
Wait a minute. Let him come back for a second. I want to ask him. So, Madison, how do you like going to school from home? Do you like it or you dislike it?
Dislike it.
You dislike it. Why do you dislike it?
Because it's so much work. I like putting all my stress on the teachers instead of putting it on my shoulders.
At least he's honest. At least he's honest. Well, keep up the good work, brother. Schooling is very important. Do what you have to do to get it done. Things will change soon enough. Thank you.
Yeah, that's my boy. That boy 12 years old, man. He 5'8", man.
Nah.
Man, I mean, his mother, another Philadelphia singer, Jay the artist, my ex-wife, she's like probably 5'11", 6 foot. She's right in there. 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot. So, and I'm 6'1", so he 5'8" already at 12.
Yeah.
And so he's awesome, man. All my children are awesome.
Is he a musician as well? Does he study music as well? Is he into it?
He's into it, but he's more into sports and gaming.
Okay.
He's into it because he has it in his blood, because his mother and her family, it's music all through that family. Singers and musicians all through that family. And obviously I'm a musician. My dad was a musician, so he's got it from both sides. He dances. He could pick up anything, man. But he's more so into gaming and sports. That's his thing. But he loves to be around music. But gaming and sports is like his thing. It's his vibe.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's talk about your start. When did you realize that music was going to be a passion for you? Like this was something that you were going to pursue hardcore?
Oh, pursue, pursue professionally. Well, it all starts with me. I was born and raised in a church called the United House of Prayer for All People, where gospel brass bands are the feature in the music ministry. And
Hmm.
I was surrounded by amazing musicians. And I watched my dad, as a child, I watched my dad lead the brass band. He played trombone and trumpet and tuba and guitar, and he sang. And so I was surrounded by amazing music and amazing singers like my whole, definitely my whole young life, growing up in church. So I knew it was going to be something involving music because it was in me and I was surrounded by it. But once I grew up playing in church and I started playing on the Philly music scene uh, at Silk City with Jafar Barron and Silk City, Jake and Oliver's, Wilhelmina's, with Kelly Reynolds over there, and uh, playing at all the clubs around town, and playing the poetry sets, and putting together bands, playing the Blue Funk with
Mm.
John Barber, and all of those amazing musical pods that we had. You know, obviously the Black Lily, and
Yeah.
being a part of that amazing uh, place. But it was. Um, mm, you know, I had been a part of so many things. I remember playing on DJ King Brits, who had Silk City. DJ King Britt and Dazia had Back to Basic at Silk City on Monday nights, and I remember playing there and what that felt like. I remember meeting uh, uh, the who I call the architects of the neo soul sound in Philadelphia, which was uh, most of the guys from all the guys from Jazzy Jazz Production House and the Roots,
Yep.
all the guys from Touch of Jazz, Dre, Andre Harris, Vidal Davis, Carvin Higgins, Ivan Barrios, Darren Henson, Keith Peltzer, um, James Poyser, uh, Questlove from the Roots, and those were my studio calls. King Britt called me to play on his first album, When the Funk Hits the Fan, and went on the road with King Britt for the first time. My first time being on the road, I went on tour with King Britt, DJ King Britt, and playing on those records. You know, we were creating so many different things, and I met so many different artists. So from the studio to the stage, um, I felt like I was finding my way. But remember,
Hmm.
at this time, these incredible, talented people, and I've been around so many, and especially like on the poetry scene with Jill, and Ursula
Yep.
Rucker, and Wadu the Mod, and Poetica, and all these incredible people. Um, um, I was just surrounded by so much music and so many incredible artists, people, music I was playing on albums with Jill, and music, and Flowetry, then later Kendrick the Family Soul, and
Yeah.
Jaguar Wright, and like
Yep.
all these Bilal, and all these incredible artists that were around the Philly scene, man. It was just, I was just finding my way, and I was just trying to figure out what I was going to do. I knew this is what I should be doing. I would work a job for like 2 or 3 months, and somebody would call me for a studio session and be like, "I got to work." I would quit that job and go to the studio session because I just felt like it's just a matter of time
Oh,
before the right thing happens. But I think
yeah.
when I recorded, um, when James Poyser and Questlove called me to the studio to work on this album with this girl named Erica from Dallas. Um, uh, and the song, I heard the song that I was supposed to be playing on, and it was Other Side of the Game. And
Mm.
once I heard that song on the radio, a lot of people didn't know I played on that song. A lot of people didn't know I played on Other Side of the Game with Erykah Badu, myself and Jafar Barron and Fareed Maloui. Um, but once I heard that on the radio, I was like, ooh,
No, I love to hear her side when she talks about that particular song, is because she was in her camp and she was talking about they needed a hit. And she said, "Oh, I know exactly what to do. Put me on a flight to Philly. Once I come back from Philly, I'm gonna have something hot." the fact that she knew where she needed to go to get what she
Right.
needed. People underestimate that whole movement of artistmanship in that whole group of people. It
Right.
was such a huge movement, and it contributes so much talent to the world.
Absolutely.
And you were a part of that movement. It's historic.
Yeah. I mean, it's a blessing to be a part of the movement. For me, my whole thing was um, um, a lot of musicians. I think at that time, still maybe a little bit now, you value your time and and
Mhm.
all of those important things because you don't want to get taken advantage of as a musician. But for
Mhm.
me, anytime anybody called, I said yes. The answer was always yes. Whether I had a job or didn't have a job or whatever the grind was, I was going to be a part of this music thing. I was going to figure it out. I knew I had a gift, and I knew that I belonged. I just need it was just about the right phone call at the right time. And whenever they called, I always said yes. I was always there. Um, I'm thankful to those great producers that I mentioned, who are the reason I played on so many albums from Michael Jackson to Earth, Wind and Fire and on down. To play on these records, man, and to be a part of this, the history of those great songs, those great catalogs, to be on those
Mhm.
albums, that have touched millions and millions of people around the world. Um, it was just about, I'm coming. If there's money, cool. If there ain't money, cool. I wasn't really motivated. I was never motivated by money. I was always motivated by an opportunity to share my gift in the studio. The money came
Awesome.
later. The money came later. But I was motivated by just the opportunity.
Right. And a lot of people even say that, like most successful people say that you follow your passion, the money will come.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, you can hold into your
I'm in
passion.
this business because I love it. I
Yeah,
play music because it was a gift that was given to me by God, and every opportunity I've been given to share it with the world, I do.
yeah. So talk to me a little bit about the transition, because I actually mentor a lot of younger artists that are like they're working people who do the art on the side,
Mhm.
and they have these difficult moments, in that transition. Talk a little bit about that transition from going from a working guy to changing over to a full-time artist and totally depending on art for your income. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, it's a sacrifice. Um, at that time, um, I had let me see, Bianca's 28, and Kayla and Maya 22. So I think only Bianca was born at the time. I didn't have 5 children then, but I think I had one child then when I first started. And um, for me, it was about, I knew that it was going to be a sacrifice. I knew it was going to be hard. Um, I knew um, that it was going to be tough. I was living in my mother's basement in Nicetown. Um, and I knew it was going to be rough, man. But you know one thing about it? I remember going to gigs, playing clubs and playing gigs. I remember riding the bus with my horn in a trash bag
Mm,
because I had gotten a horn from a pawn shop, but it didn't have a case.
mm,
So I used the green trash bag. I put it in there, and I just wrapped it real tight around my horn.
mhm.
And I was going to gigs when I was playing with Jafar Band. At the beginning, I was going to gigs with my horn in a trash bag on the
Yeah,
bus because
yeah.
that's how much I believed that it was just a
Mhm.
matter of time. If I stayed the course, it was just going to be a matter of time before um, I got the opportunity to make this a career. But I knew it was going to be tough. I knew what I was walking into. But the crazy thing about it, um, it's funny. I should tell that story more. I should tell that story more often. I don't tell that story. I'm thinking about
And you
doing.
know what?
You kind of hit me when you said that. It hit my soul a little bit because I used to play clarinet, you know, in my younger years. And one of the things as a horn player or any instrument is you protect your instrument at
Right,
any cost.
right,
And the case in your instrument is vital. So the
right.
fact that you told me that you wrapped it in the trash bag, it was the essence of where you were. It's
Oh,
like you have
absolutely.
to do what you have to do to get it done.
Absolutely. I was gonna ride the bus, and the gig probably wasn't paying more than $40, $50. But I knew I knew I was gonna play, and I remember that. I remember that one particular gig. It was at a club called. It was a restaurant, uh, right off of Second and Chestnut, called the Middle Eastern Restaurant, and concerts used to be there. They used to have concerts there. The Middle Eastern Restaurant used to have a big camel hanging up outside. Right on Second Street, right past between Second and Front on the right hand side, the Middle Eastern Restaurant. I remember that. Yeah, I remember specifically riding the subway, and riding the bus with my horn in that trash bag. And my whole thing was that I don't have many stories of feeling like, oh man, I got to get on the bus with my horn in the trash bag. I got to do this. All I remember is being so excited about having the opportunity to play on stage with these incredible musicians. That's what I remember. My memories of that is not, oh my God, this is so hard. Oh my God, this is hard. I just remember being excited about somebody wanting me to come play with them.
Yeah.
That people were excited about me being a part of a band, being a part of this incredible unit of musicians with Jafar and playing in Philly back then, this early 90s, when we were just like vibing, playing music, playing songs we created. It was just such a vibe. My memory of that is the only part that I hated was when I had a job sitting 8 hours somewhere working, when I knew that I should be somewhere with my horn, playing my horn. So my memory of that time was exciting. I was excited and feeling so blessed and fortunate that somebody wanted me to share my gift with them, to be a part of a situation with my horn. And that's why I was so excited. And to this day, every time I get a call, every time my agent calls me or my manager calls me and says, hey, I got an offer for this, they send an email, hey, we got an offer for this, hey, we got an offer for this, we got an offer for that. Every time, even now, to this day, I get a call to play somewhere. I am just as excited. I am just as excited as I was back then, over 25, 26, 27 years ago.
That's a blessing, brother. So you finally get a chance to go on tour, your first time out on tour. What's that like for you? How old are you around that time that you went out on tour
first major tour, because I went on tour with King Britt. It wasn't really a tour. We went out and did a few shows. So my first tour,
that counts.
my first tour, like tour bus, like
Okay.
I'll see y'all in a few months. My first major tour was with Jill in 2000. So I'm 51, so that was 20 years ago. So as I was 31 years old, and which a lot of these guys are going on tour much younger.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are going on tour 18, 19, 20 years old, going on tour, But my first, I think I was 30. And I was so excited because not just that I was going on tour with Jill, who is one of my really, really, really good friends, really close, really good friends for at least 30 years. The fact that the band was all my brothers, all the guys I knew, all the guys who had been in the grind and on the grind. And, we all played in different churches and we all were church boys. Most of us were all church boys, and the fact that I got a chance to play with my guys, play with your friends, which I've done a lot of in my career, Been fortunate to be on bands with guys I knew. It was just this great Philly movement. We knew we had something special. You know, we knew that Jill was special. We knew that there was nothing out there like her. Because Erykah Badu had been out already, and D'Angelo had been out already, you know, in 95, 96. So there was some time, and it was like, oh, well, here's this other girl. And what does this sound like? And what does this look like? And Jill was just as amazing as she always is, and touching people in ways they've never been touched. And it was just an amazing, amazing opportunity and experience being on the road, being on a tour bus for the first time, and what that felt like, our camaraderie, the games, the PlayStations, Sega Genesis, or whatever we had, probably PlayStations, what we had on the bus, and those experiences, man, going from city to city, people's reactions when they knew that you were just with Jill. When it was like, oh my God, who you here with? It was we on tour with Jill Scott. Oh my God, you on tour with Jill Scott? That's before I knew that you don't really tell people. Yeah. When you in other cities, you don't really talk too much about it when you're in other cities. I didn't know. I was just like, what are you guys doing in town? We're from Philly. What are you doing in town? Oh, we're Jill Scott's band. What? These guys are Jill Scott's band. Oh, you know, before you know to tell, before you know, that was before we knew that certain things you keep quiet while you're on the road because of safety precautions and things like that. And but it was awesome, like finally being on tour and flying. And wait a minute, a per diem? What's a per diem? Per diem is like French for per day. So what does that mean? Per diem is like an allowance. You get a daily allowance once a week. You get a week's worth, $7. It was like, wait a minute. So they're gonna pay me? They're gonna pay us to be here, pay for our hotel rooms. They're gonna pay me to play, and they're gonna give me money to spend every day. I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I want to do. This is why I'm so excited. That's what it felt like. It was like, oh my God, because you love what you do so much, it's not work. Even though getting on and off the hotel bus every day, pulling your suitcase off, going to the hotel, not getting much sleep here and there, even though at some point it starts to feel a little bit like work when you're a little tired. But once you get to the stage, it doesn't feel like work. But that's when you feel like, man, this is awesome. This is why I wanted to do this. This is why I wanted to be a part of music. It's like when you do what you love to do, it's a paid vacation. It's a paid vacation with an allowance. Right. A paid vacation with an allowance. With a per diem, which is basically an allowance. To be on the road, they're gonna pay me to be here, and they're gonna make sure I eat every day. You get an allowance, and they're gonna feed us. We got dinner at the venue before the show, and that too. Oh my God, this is what I've been waiting for my whole career. So it was a hell of a feeling, man. And anybody who tell you anything different, they're lying.
That's what's up, and I'm glad to hear that you embraced it that way. I've heard different stories. You have people that love to tour, and then you have people that can't stand the tour. You have more people that like to just create and just make stuff in the studio. Yeah. But how do you get the stuff that you create out to the people? You have to go out and get in their face and play it for them.
Got to deliver.
Sing it to them.
Got to deliver it. You got to deliver it. Personally, you got to deliver it. You got to deliver. That's why they go out and support an album. When people hear it and they're listening to it, but when they hear it live, it's like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. This is why I love this artist so much. It's about the personal touch. It's about getting into those cities and letting them see you and put their hands on you and get close to you and take pictures with you. That's what it's really about. And those are all the things that I learned when it came to my turn to be an artist.
That's awesome. So from you being a part of a tour and a part of someone else's vision and movement to now becoming a headliner, what's that like?
It's an out-of-body experience. When you travel to another city, New York, DC, Baltimore, Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, wherever you're going, Dallas, Houston. You go to a place and you look up and you see your name. You know, you see Jeff Bradshaw and Friends. And when you walk in the venue and you see the posters, Jeff Bradshaw and Friends. And when you walk out of sound check in your regular clothes and people see you and they're like excited, like, oh my God, there he is. You know, it's an amazing, amazing, amazing feeling to know that the reason why they're so excited to see you is because of your gift.
Right.
Because of this precious thing that we've been given to share with them, that God gave us this gift. And I'm all the way in another state, city, on the other part of the other side of the country, and people know what I look like. They know my name. They know my children's names because they follow me on social media. How's Madison? How's Bianca? How are your daughters doing in college? How's this? You know, they follow you like but they also feel like family. My fans, they feel like family, you know, because I share so much, not too much, but I share like my children. You know, I want people to know that my number one inspiration are my children, my girls, my boys. Like they are my inspiration. And my parents, they are my inspirations. So rather, it doesn't matter to me if I have 1,500 people on Facebook or Instagram and get 10 likes off of something I post. I'm so happy to be here that I know I'm not here for any of that. I'm here because somebody gave me the opportunity to record music, and because there's some artists and producers who believed in me, that God has put these amazing people in my path. And no, I don't have 1,500 followers on social media. I have thousands, you know, maybe not as many as maybe Robert Glasper or Gregory Porter, but I'm so happy and excited about being Jeff Bradshaw. I'm excited about every person that sends me messages on social media, in my inbox, and in my DM, you know, and they're like, wow, you were great last night. I enjoyed you. Hope to come back and hope to see you next time you come here. And I respond. And they're like, wait, is this really you? They're like, is this really you? Is this really Jeff Bradshaw? Is this really you? And I'm like, yes, it's really me. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm always going to be that way as long as I can. I'll keep up with as much as that. I have a social media guy who's incredible. But I try to personally answer as many messages as I can that's possible. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have a career. I wouldn't be able to travel the country and go to these major cities and play this music with these incredible musicians that join me in these incredible cities. And my children wouldn't live comfortable. I wouldn't live comfortable. I wouldn't be able to take care of my mother. I wouldn't be able to be there for my family if it wasn't for their love and support of this gift that I have. So I am sure, I'm just so excited. I love my fans. Like I said, they're like family, you know, and Jill Scott told me one time, she said, when you step on stage, no matter where you are in the world, and you don't recognize anybody in the audience, that's when you know you've made it.
That's deep.
You stand on stage and you don't recognize anybody in the audience, that's when you know you've made it. And I've stood on many stages and didn't recognize anybody, you know.
Wow.
And I remember what she said to me. She taught me a lot. Jill taught me a lot. But I have so many
That's
mentors.
a cool lady. I have great amount of respect for her. I met her once, and the day that I met her, it was the day after she had made a move. She had changed homes, and she had wound up injuring herself in the move. and she was a little sore. Very polite, very sweet woman. And she got on stage, and I couldn't tell that she was in pain at all. Like she turned into a totally different person. Very lively. She was athletic. Like she was in the zone. And my respect for her went up like 1,000 points just from knowing that realness and then seeing her what she gave to her fans on stage. Much respect.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of seeing people live, the very first time I saw you live was in the Tweeter Center. Because they changed the name to that stadium so much. I don't know what it's called now.
I think it's the BB&T Center now, I think.
Yeah. So I saw you there for the first time live, and I was there covering the story for someone else. And your entrance alone into your set from backstage, not backstage, off stage, onto the stage, from your dress, your eyewear,
Oh wow.
just the whole presentation. I was like, this dude is fire. I should have been here covering him.
Thank
And
you.
like, I've been into you ever since that first time I saw you. And if you have not checked out the Jeff Bradshaw performance, you have to check it out. It will change your life. Change your
Man,
life.
I'm humbled by those words, man. I've learned by so many. I've learned from so many. I've taught with so many different people, and I've learned by watching these amazing artists how they engage and what they do, how they do it, and I've studied, and not just them, but I've studied Teddy Pendergrass and Gerald Levert, who's one of my favorites. You know, Patty Jackson calls me the Gerald Levert of jazz.
You do remind people of him.
So like Gerald Levert was one of my favorites, man, because he wasn't just like, oh, he had just like this big sexy persona and all of that. Gerald Levert could sing.
Yes.
Gerald Levert had his daddy's pipes and then some.
Yes.
Gerald could sing. He wasn't no like it was all flash and unbuttoned shirt and passing out teddy bears. Gerald could blow.
Yes.
All night long. He wasn't like winded at the like he could, man, Gerald could perform. He was a great performer. He was one of my favorites. And so I think a lot of that I pulled a lot from Gerald watching him, and I was such a fan of his artistry and how he controlled the audience, and doing that with a trombone is like different. It's a different thing. It's like, you got a trombone, how you gonna do that? And I felt my way and found who I am on stage. I found, my confidence and who I am and what I do, and I know nobody can do what I do the way I do it, and I'm very confident in that. I say that with all humility, but I say that with tons of confidence that I know nobody can do Jeff Bradshaw like Jeff Bradshaw, and so I try to embody the people that inspire me. Teddy Pendergrass, Isaac Hayes, Marvin Gaye, James Brown, like all these incredible like soul artists who had like these personas on their auras on stage was like electrifying. So I try to embody the people that inspire me and make it my own. And I think I'm doing okay.
Oh, you're doing more than okay, brother. You're doing more than okay.
Thank you, man.
So, with the music industry being the way that it is, it's changed from your beginning. How do you embrace that? How do you navigate through those waters?
I don't worry about what as far as musically. I do me. I record the music that inspires me. I work with artists that inspire me, my friends, these incredible artists that I'm blessed to work with. I work with artists that inspire me. I record music that inspires me. Most of my music is it's the soundtrack to my life. It's the soundtrack to my experiences, the soundtrack to life and love, and that's what I'm offering, a soundtrack of life and love, to people. That's what all my albums are. They're filled with my life. They're filled with, and when people write songs, if it doesn't feel like it's something that feels like it's coming from me, then I was like, I don't know, what else you got? Like let's work on. I don't know if those lyrics on that song speak to me, even though it's all these collaborations. the music still has to make sense. It still has to
Mm-hmm.
be a motion picture. You know,
Right.
like I always say, like one of my mentors, Mark Byers, used to always say, approach your music like Quincy Jones. Don't approach it like a trombone player. Like you have a great ear. You have a great ear for production. You work with many great producers. You are a producer. So I approach my albums like Quincy Jones would approach them. Quincy Jones is a trumpet player, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Was a
True.
famous jazz trumpet player. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I approach the music like Quincy would approach it, like a big, beautiful body of work. The artist just
Mm-hmm.
happens to play trombone, but he's also showing the many roles of a trombone in the music, on the songs, and showing his many gifts and talents. My writing, my arranging, my production, my producing. I'm the executive producer of this album. I was the executive producer, co-executive producer of the live album at the Kimmel Center.
Mm-hmm.
My other co-producer was Robert Glasper. Co-executive producer was Robert Glasper. He co-executive produced the
Another
album.
legend.
So this is the first album that I outright executive produced. It is completely my vision from top to bottom. This album is my vision with these great producers that I worked with on this record. Daniel Crawford, Mike Burton, Brandon Young. I mean, so many great producers on this record that I was able to work with. And it was an amazing experience. And that's why I know this is my best work. And I know that's why the music feels so good. And my job is I'm going to scream it from every rooftop from now until the life of this record is long gone, that this is my best work, my best work. And I'm thankful for this platform that I get to tell my story, because I don't have the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of fans that the Robert Glaspers and Terrace Martins and Gregory Porters and Esperanza Spaldings. Like, I don't have, 500, 600, 700, 800,000 fans all over the world, but I got several thousand, and I'm just trying to tell my story and be the best Jeff Bradshaw I know how to be.
Yeah. And I tell anyone that I talk to, and I say it in every live that I do, any interview that I do, I'm a fan first. Before anything else, I'm a fan.
Right.
And Stronger, brother, is fire. Can I tell you, it's fire.
Thank you.
And I thank you for delivering that to the universe, because it's nothing like when you get a hold of a piece of art and all day you can have it on repeat, just looping. And that's all I want to hear. Just all I want to hear. I think I listened to Stronger maybe about a week in repeat. That's all I was listening to.
Wow.
And I appreciate you for it.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it took me 3 years in the making, and 16 songs, which is very important to me. And I wanted to make sure that I gave people, that I made it worth the wait. Like, I'm not one of those artists, like a lot of my contemporaries in the smooth jazz field. A lot of them make, records every year, make a new record every year, and make a new record every year. I can't do that. The music does not flow through me that way. I need a year. I need a few years to live with it and sit with it. And when I delivered a record, like my live album came out in 2015, I've been touring and doing shows off that record for the last 5 years. For the last 5 years, God bless. It was a blessing. But I've been working off the live album for 5 years until I released this record. That was my last
Which was
album.
also fire.
Thank you. But I make sure that if you may wait a year or two, few years, but when I deliver it, it's going to be worth the wait. And you're going to have years to live with it until I record another album.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever going to be that kind of artist that releases an album every year. I need time. I need life to happen. I need to be inspired, and I need to be inspired by life events, life and love. Life and love. I'm inspired by those things. Life, love, my children, family.
So are you the type of artist, you have music sitting that's maybe incomplete somewhere and you'll go back to it and finish it and it gets stored for the next project? Are you that type of artist?
No. No.
Okay.
Do I have songs that didn't make this record? Maybe 2.
Okay.
maybe 2. Do I have a couple songs that I'm holding on to that I'm like, no, not this record? Yes. I got a couple of
Okay.
those, but I'm not that guy who has like, I got like 30 songs and I got 30 songs in the hard drive. I ain't even dropped one y'all yet. That ain't me. That's not me.
Okay.
I have one song on this album that I recorded years ago. Years ago. Years ago. There's no way you could guess which one it was. But there's a song on this album that I recorded with this artist, man, at least 10 years ago.
10 years.
There's
Wow.
a song on this album that is 10 years old. The actual recording is 10 years old.
Wow.
Like all we
And
did, all I had.
I'll say this. I'll say this. With all of that music, it's seamless. That's nothing that anyone can tell. You can't tell that it's 10 years old.
But
And that's a testament to your art.
there is one song on this album that is 10 years old. We recorded it.
Wow.
We recorded it at least 10 years ago. And
Wow.
and all we did was mix and master it.
Wow.
I
You're
mean,
not going
good
to tell us
music.
what it is?
Good, huh?
You're not going to tell us what it is?
It features a female artist.
I think I kind of know now at this point. Not because it's dated or anything, just because. I'll keep that to myself.
But
Yeah.
you can't tell because it's a timeless, beautiful song.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, if I told people I recorded this song 10 years ago, and all I did was mix and master it and we put it on the record, people would never believe. Like, what? Like, yep. And
Wow.
that's when you know you're making timeless music.
That's right.
That's when you know you're making timeless, and that's what I want. I want to make timeless music. I want to get on stage and people request songs from my first album. Still, right now, people are like,
Yep.
"Play on my way, play on my way, beyond the stars." They yell out songs from your first album, like, "What? Y'all remember that?" They be like, "What? I listen to that. I still listen to that album every day." Like that's what I want to do. I want to continue
That's what's
to
up.
record music and make music that is timeless, that people can listen to 10 years from now and be like, man, I remember when you recorded this. I still love that album. Still love that album. I love when I hear that. I love when I hear that. When people tell me, when they call out songs and albums that they still listen to. I still listen to this record. I just put everybody in my barbershop on that record. Record's 17 years old. Bone Deep is 17 years old. And there's always 2 to 3 people at every show that will tell me that they still listen to Bone Deep to this day.
Because it has that type of weight. It's a classic. It's a classic at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
Is there anyone on your wish list that you want to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Record with?
Yes.
Yes. One, Auntie Patty, who I've been touring with since 2012. I'm putting in an atmosphere that I'm going to record a song with her on my next album, with Patti LaBelle. I want to work with Patti LaBelle. I want to do a song. I want to record a song produced by produced by Quincy Jones. I want to work with Quincy Jones. I want Quincy Jones to produce a song on my album. Patti LaBelle, Quincy Jones, and I want to work with Layla Hathaway. I want to do a song, and we've talked about it. Layla and I have talked about it. We've talked about it on social media. We talked about it in our DMs, and
That would be insane.
I want to record a song with Layla, Patti LaBelle, and I want to work with Quincy Jones on a song.
Wow. Well, you put it out there in the universe. It's out there.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited.
So I want to ask this question, and I'm going to ask you to think about the people that purchase your art. What is the message that you want people to pick up from Stronger?
That good music has no time. That good music doesn't age. It's like wine, you know, even though wine does age, but good music just gets better as it gets older. Think about the first time you heard Jill Scott's first album. When you heard Who is Jill Scott? The first time you heard Music Soul Child's first album. The first time you heard a Gladys Knight song.
Mm.
The first time you heard If Only You Knew on the radio by Patti LaBelle. Every time you hear it, it's like the first time you heard it. It's like, like,
It's either like the first time you heard it, or it takes you back to a time and place, and it makes you have those sensory memories that take you back right to that point.
I mean, for me, that's what it's about. I remember the first time. Do you know who Maceo Parker is?
No, I've heard the name.
Maceo, the legendary alto saxophonist with James Brown. Maceo Parker plays this version. He plays Georgia on My Mind. Man, let me tell you something. Other than Ray Charles, when I hear Ray Charles sing Georgia, let's hear a live recording of Ray Charles singing Georgia, man, if you can't feel that, you are dead. If anybody, just go to YouTube and put in Maceo Parker, Georgia. Like, you do not, if you can't feel that, you don't have a heartbeat. Like, you don't have a heartbeat. You got, like, and that's how I feel when I listen to Marvin Gaye, Save the Children. Like, there's certain songs that touch me that way, that make me well up. Like, when I hear Marvin Gaye sing Save the Children, especially right now, like, it's those artists. Hearing Donny Hathaway live album, hearing Donny Hathaway sing Giving Up. Like, it's those artists that gave us the template, that showed us this is soul music. This is what soul music is. It's music that makes you bare your soul. When they recorded this music, they were bearing their souls. Donny Hathaway saying "Giving Up." Ooh,
I call that, when the art touches the God button inside, it taps it, and it just makes you well up, feel a certain way.
That's what soul music is, man. Is music played when the soul is bared, man, and that's what I'm striving to do. I'm striving to continue to, no matter who my collaborations are for the songs, and every single song, I don't put more energy into one song because it may be a single. I put an equal amount of energy in every single song, so it's an album, so it's a body of work that touches you here. That's what I do.
And to be honest, for myself, those are the artists that I gravitate toward. Ones that create projects, not just singles.
Right.
Singles are okay, but they come and they go. They're not lasting. When you listen to a project, if it's a really good one, you can take it from beginning to the end without interruption, without skipping. You can enjoy the whole body of work all in one go.
That's what I try to do. And I think I did that with this album.
Oh no, you did it.
I think I did that.
You did it.
I always try to make the album a motion picture. A motion picture. Like when you go in the movies and you sit down and you just like, ooh, ooh. Oh no, he didn't. Oh, he did. Like, I want to draw those emotions out. And that's why I pick certain artists for certain songs, especially this album. I picked certain artists for certain songs. I wanted to work with certain producers because I knew that there wasn't going to be like the whole album sounds alike. This album has journeys. It takes a ride into really beautiful places. And like people think, oh, I love Jeff Bradshaw's music. It's incredible. And then when you hear this album, it's like, oh. I went places with this album I didn't go on any other album.
Right.
And that's the the maturation in my production, in my executive production, and just these incredible gifted people that lended their gifts to this record. I'm so blessed and fortunate to have so many amazing friends that I'm a fan of, and they lent their gifts in a special way to this record. Robert Glasper, Raheem Devon, Amber Jean, the lead singer of Moonchild, Jeff Morrell, the legendary GJ Jazzy Jeff, Paula Champion, Mike Burton, Glenn Lewis, Frank McComb. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Marsha Ambrosius.
Wow. Yeah.
Christian McBride, James Poyser. I mean, there's just so many amazing artists. Len Roundtree, Marquel Jordan. So many great artists on this record that I've been blessed. And I just want to tell everybody, I'm going to continue to scream it from the mountaintops that I believe that my album is the album of the year. It's an album that will take you places that no other album will.
It definitely is that, brother. Definitely is that. As a fan, I thank you totally for the art. And as a journalist, anytime that I call on Mr. Jeff Bradshaw, he never says no to me. He always says yes. And because I'm a fan, I will continue to call on you. And soon as we start our new season of the Stephen Knight Show, I want to have you on there to talk about Stronger as well. And we're going to throw some of those songs in our rotation.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
To get it out there to an even bigger audience.
Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Anybody that you want to shout out?
First of all, to God, man, who's first in my life, who, just gives, even though it's just a sad time, God is still good,
Yes.
And thank you for, I just thank God for all that we have, that we're living and breathing, and that we're in this position that we can still touch and heal people with music and with platforms like this. Obviously, shout out to my my incredible manager, Mr. Myron Ruffin. He's 5 people in one, but Myron Ruffin, Russell Johnson, George Littlejohn from my distribution company that's distributing this record, and I put this album out on my own label. My first album on my own label, Bone Deep Enterprises. And just shout out to everybody who supports me, who's always supported me, who tells people in their jobs and their family and post pictures of the album and tell everybody that they know about this amazing work that I put out. I thank you all. Follow me on social media at I am Jeff Bradshaw. All social media. I am Jeff Bradshaw. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's all the same. I am Jeff Bradshaw. The website is iamjeffbradshaw.com. Good brother. Thank you so much for having me. And
thank you.
I look forward
to I'll be in touch, definitely. And happy holidays to you too, brother.
Absolutely. Happy holidays to you and your family, man. God bless, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
God bless you too.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Good
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right.